and welcome to my channel, Ginger Ninja JK's Movie Reviews. I am Ginger Ninja and I review movies, particularly horror movies, as voted on by you on my Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, my handle is down below. Make sure you go in there, follow, and vote on which movie you want to see me review each week. While you're here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for future content. So, without wasting any further of your time, let's get on to this week's movie review. Hi, welcome back and thank you for joining me again. So last week I put up on my Instagram poll, challenge between two movies, Planet Terror and Death Proof, both from the 2007 Grindhouse features from Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. It is clear to see that Death Proof won. This is my Blu-ray copy, as you can see here playing in the background. Got a nice little thing in there, and the DVD version. Both come with a whole host of special features, trailers, behind the scenes, meet the cast, meet the cars as well, which is very cool. So this one, it came out in 2007 and was a collaboration between Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, who were doing an experiment throwback to the 1970s style Grindhouse films. They did collaborate with a lot of different other movie makers, including Rob Zombie and Eli Roth, who did some trailers for it. It was a very fun experience in my opinion. I quite enjoyed both the films, but today we are focusing on Death Proof. Now this was directed and written by Quentin Tarantino. The film itself is broken into two parts. So the first part stars Sidney Poitier, Vanessa Friolito, Jordan Ladd, Rose McGowan, with cameos from Quentin Tarantino and Eli Roth. The second part stars Tracy Toms, Zoe Bell, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Rosario Dawson. Both these parts are tied together with Kurt Russell as Stuntman Mike. Putting it out there, spoiler alert, if you have not seen it, there are going to be spoilers ahead. So as I mentioned, the film there are two separate parts to the movie, and it is quite a long movie, which I'll touch on later. So two separate sets of women are stalked at different times by Stuntman Mike, who uses his death-proof car to execute his murderous plans. So what I really enjoyed about it was the filming of this. The Grindhouse style in the first part, and I will touch on this again later, was really well done. It's a very interesting feel because it's set in modern times, but it has a feel of the 70s. So when you see them using a mobile phone, it's like, kind of takes you for a spin for a moment there, or it did for me, because it kind of felt like it's in the 70s, like this shouldn't be there, but it was really cool. And I really enjoyed that. It was, like I said, it was an experiment they did, and I liked it. I loved the feel of it. I thought it gave it that dirty, gritty feel. The writing. Quentin Tarantino, I don't think anyone can argue he is a brilliant filmmaker, and his writing is always, most times, top-notch. The writing in this is good. There are some really long, lengthy conversations in the film, which are on point, all through it. Now, I mentioned the transition. Going from what I see as part one, it's very Grindhouse. It's got that scratchy, gritty, dirty feel to it. Then it moves into part two. Now, all of a sudden it goes black and white. Then it goes into this very bright color, and it's a sudden transition into the grittiness of the Grindhouse style into now. Loved it. Thought it was brilliantly well done, and it gives it that nice polished look, which sets up part two. I thought that was great. It was fun. What I didn't really enjoy about it was the time it took. Now, this isn't to do with the pacing. I think the pacing of the film is really good, and it does build up to certain crescendos. However, it does take a while to get to those points, which I do find with a lot of Quentin Tarantino's films. It does take a lot of time to get to the point. This one here definitely did that. 45 minutes before anything actually happens action-wise, before you really see Stuntman Mike carry out his nefarious plans. So that for me, it does feel like drags, but once that happens, it is pretty quick. You've got this great scene involving Stuntman Mike's death-proof car and the 4 main protagonists from the first part. So that scene was really good, but getting up to that took some time. That's probably my only con with it. Other than the fact that it takes that time to get to it. Once it gets to it, like I said, it's really good. Best scenes of the film. So the first crash. If you see this, there are 4 different shots to it. So there are 4 people in the car, 4 different shots, each one very brutal. It's visceral. You feel the impact in your bones. Like you watch it, you see it, and you're like, whoa, you are taken aback. Amazingly filmed, like the work they put into that one scene, which they then do in 4 different viewpoints. Amazing. Really well done. And this is a huge spoiler. I put a spoiler up before, so if you're still listening and you haven't seen it, well, consider it spoiled. So the film ends with the 3 girls. You've got Tracy Tom, Zoe Bell, and Rosario Dawson, who have been chased by Stuntman Mike all over the countryside in their Dodge Charger car. I'm not good with cars, so I don't know. It was a fast car. And Stuntman Mike's death-proof car. They finally catch him. They drag him out of his car. They beat him up. Like this scene is filmed really well, where each of the girls just punch him and taking turns, making sure he's not going to hurt anyone again. But then it ends with Stuntman Mike on the ground and the girls jump for joy. And the end comes up. But that's not the end. The last scene you see is Rosario Dawson do this massive kick in the air and just bring her foot straight down on Stuntman Mike. He is no more. There is no walking away from that. If you see that and you watch it, you'll be like, yeah, he's not getting back in the car. Like I said, I really enjoyed this film. It did have its massive pros and a few cons, like I said. Overall though, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. And it's a really funny story about that 7 out of 10. When I first watched this film back in 2007, I don't remember the first half of it. What I remember is that first crash and the second part to it, where it transitions away from the grindhouse. That I remember. The first part, I do not remember a thing at all. So for me, without having that sort of feel to it, that connection, it does drop the film down. But that's me. 7 out of 10 for Death Proof. So thank you very much for staying and listening to me ramble on about this film. Do appreciate it. If you can hit that like button, and if you're a new viewer, please hit that subscribe button so you can see my future content as it comes out. Every week I do put up a new poll on my Instagram. Once again, the handle's below. Make sure you follow me there, subscribe here, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.